Want to grow your business and take it to the next level? Well, here we all are, and we're going to show you how through hard work, perseverance, and a little help and know-how, you can take things to the next level and push the success of your business even further. Let's get going.
Welcome everyone, Paul Wright here, the next episode of the Practiceology Podcast, where we teach you the science of running an allied health business that works without you. And I've tracked down Jay Greenstein from the USA. Jay, thanks for joining us.
What's up, Paul? It's great to be here, man.
What's up? From the great city of Washington, DC, which I love. Now, I've contacted Jay in typical Paul Wright fashion out of nowhere. Jay doesn't know me from a bar of soap, and all of a sudden he's given up his time. He's, I think this crazy Australian might be fun to talk to. So here we are.
Exactly. Love the Aussies.
And always up for a laugh for the sound of it. So Dr. Jay, which I love the shortening, is the founder and CEO of Kaisenovate. And you all know about Kaizen, and that's why I love the branding aspect of this, Jay, which is a technology company that builds custom mobile apps for chiropractic, PT, and allied health businesses, which helps professionals differentiate and grow their revenue and their brand, which we're going to talk about today. He's also the founder and CEO of the Kaiso Health Companies, and that includes Kaiso Health, which is a multi-location chiropractic and rehabilitation practice. We've got Kaiso X, sports performance and personal training company, and Kaiso Clinical Research Institute, a non-profit that runs clinical trials for best practice. So he's in lots of fields. So I love what Jay's doing here. He's a sought-after international speaker, consultant, teaching evidence into practice, leadership, business management, and big on emerging technologies. So this is going to be a great one. Jay, you reckon you can do this in 7 minutes, Jay?
Yeah, we'll do whatever you need, man. 7 minutes is good. I can talk fast. I've been known to talk fast.
All right, let's see how we go. You're right to go. I'll kick my timer off and we're away. Jay, who is your ideal client at Kaiso?
The ideal client for us at Kaiso Health is the patient with musculoskeletal health conditions that want a conservative care, evidence-based option. But for Kaisenovate, our technology company, really the perfect customer is that physio, chiro entrepreneur. You know, someone who's running their own business, who wants to run it at scale, who wants to drive better outcomes and improved income. And those two things are not mutually exclusive. We can do both, and we should be doing both. And that's our ideal client. Those providers that see kind of life in that set of rose-colored glasses, so to speak.
So, mate, question 2 with just over 6 minutes left. So what's the problem, Jay, that you solve for these guys at Kaisenovate?
Yeah. So for our practice, you know, we're a very data-driven organization. What we found is that we were not as successful as we wanted to be in getting all of our patients to doctor discharge. So we had too many patients self-discharging, and we also drilled down to the number one reason why, which is they feel better. And we know from the literature that one of the most accurate predictors of future musculoskeletal injury is past injury. And that's because the patients and sometimes even the providers stop treating the problem and the symptoms go away. So our goal is to get the best long-term outcome for our patients, and we want them to complete their rehabilitation so they can be functionally improved, not just symptomatically improved. So we looked at the literature, we looked at other Fortune 100, 500 companies and what they were doing, especially in healthcare. And what we found is that there's good evidence around the use of mobile applications, mHealth, to drive better care plan adherence. So we built it for our Kaiso Health practices. We've got 4 in the DC region. We ended up looking at the data over 2 years, over 4,200 patients. And what we found, quite frankly, is that patients who downloaded the app had a 36% increase in treatment plan adherence compared to those who did not. And the app download versus the non-app down cohorts were about the same statistically in terms of numbers. But this is a really interesting thing, Paul. We also divided up the cohorts into doctor discharge patients and self-discharge patients, the patients who are not necessarily going to be adherent in their care plan. And for the patients that self-discharged who downloaded the app, came in 69+% more than those who did not download the app. So those patients that are not likely to adhere, because we gamified the patient experience through the app, we made it fun for them. We created a rewards program. It engaged them in ways where patients were more likely to come back, which is exactly what we saw in our data. And we're actually in publication right now. That paper should be coming out shortly. So we're pretty excited about that.
Wow. I love this. So question 3, so typical symptoms people experience when their patients are self-discharging. It's outcomes and pain and money
pain and
and all
stress.
that stuff.
I think, we could probably have a long conversation about this, but like everybody's focused so much on new patient acquisition. Like, let's get as many new patients as we can. And let's, hire a marketing firm, Facebook ads, Insta, whatever. And that is important. Getting internal referrals, building your pipeline through other physicians and other providers that want to refer to you. But at the end of the day, we've got to think about appropriate evidence-based retention. And I'm not talking about keeping a patient forever. I'm talking about getting them through their care plan so they complete it, so they get the best long-term outcome. And so when that doesn't happen, we're always having to scramble for new patients. And quite frankly, it's really stressful to follow up with every single patient who's not completed their care plan. And by the way, I'm also concerned for my own practice, my own business. What does that mean in terms of our brand? Somebody they get a good short-term outcome, a poor long-term outcome. Their problem returns, and all of a sudden they turn around and say, Dr. J, he sucked. Like, I felt better for a while, but it came back. And so I want to protect our personal brand. I want to protect the brand of chiropractors and physios, all around the world, so that patients don't make those statements to their friends and family members.
Well, and you already answered question 4, because what are the common mistakes people make when they trying to solve their self-discharge? They go after new patients.
That's right.
They chase the new patient. They get the Google Ads guy. They get all that stuff.
That's right. That's right, Paul. But I think also another important element to this is understanding the key drivers. And one of the key drivers is really just making sure that first and foremost, you're tracking this information. So for all the chiros and physios out there, if you're not currently tracking 2 things: 1, the percentage of your patients that are self-discharging versus doctor discharging, and 2, the number 1 or number 2 or number 3 reasons why they're self-discharging, you have a great opportunity to improve your practice just by measuring those analytics.
Pressure on you now then, you with about 2 minutes left, because I know you love the pressure. So what's a valuable free action, Jay? What can they do themselves? You said tracking. Is that the best way to go first?
I think that's the first step. If you're not tracking that information, then tracking that data is critically important. If you are tracking the information, then identifying steps to drive improvement for those patients that are self-discharging based on their reasons is probably the next step.
Yeah. Okay. So what's a valuable resource? What have you got can help these guys in this, listening to this and watching this? What can we do for them?
100%. So for anybody who's watching this podcast, who's interested in learning more about how they can drive greater adherence to care plans, how they can leverage technology to drive that adherence, all they got to do is reach out to me at Dr. J at Kaisenovate. So it's the combination of Kaizen and Ovate, which is short for innovate, Kaisenovate.com. I'll do a free 60-minute assessment of your practice. We'll talk about adherence metrics and other key performance indicators. And then, hey, if it's right for you, we're happy to give you discounted pricing on a custom-built mobile app for your practice.
Give me the link again. Where do they go?
It's just my email, drjay at Kaisenovate.com.
You better spell it out, Jay. We're not great spellers. How do we spell it?
No worries. drjay at Kaisenovate, Kaizenovate.com.
Beautiful. So, Jay, with about a minute left, what's the one question I should have asked you that would give great value to our audience at Practiceology?
I think the great question, especially with your tribe, is, how do healthcare providers work together to fight the common challenges that we face? I live in a world where chiros and PTs, we love each other. We're not like just friends, but we have great relationships, very, very collaborative. And we're able to do great things for the populations and patients that we serve because we put the political bullshit aside. I hope I'm allowed to curse. Hope that was okay. But at the end of the day, we all have common goals. There's plenty of patients for all of us. We need to fight some of the regulatory and reimbursement challenges that we all deal with together. And if we collaborate, I think we're all going to be better off for it.
What a great session. I love the angle. I love the metrics, because we talk all the time about self-discharge and patient discharge and therapist discharge and getting the numbers right. And looks like you've solved it, mate. This app sounds incredible. So give us again. So the email, where to find you, Dr. J.
At Kaisenovate, Kaizenovate.com. And here you can see it.
Oh, it's there on the video. It'll be under the show notes. But mate, that's tremendous. Mate, you are a superstar. Thank you so much for joining us on the Practiceology podcast.
Thanks for having me, Paul. Really appreciate the time.
Now, if you want to catch up on the latest Practiceology demonstration, make sure you head over to mypracticeology.com. I'll see you in the next episode.